Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joined the other host,
Karen.
Didn't do the finger thing this time with like the peace, there's you type thing.
That's good.
Because, I don't know, I did it a few times and you gave me shit for it, so whatever.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
Anywho, welcome back. This is the second time we're doing our new formatted type approach. Gonna try it out still, see how it's going. I don't know, we'll give it a few weeks, see what's up with it and whatnot. But in any case, let's dive right in, I guess. Which our standard question, our new standard question is, what have you been listening to?
Bet you can't guess.
Probably the same shit you were last week.
Yeah.
What was that?
Of sulfur.
Of sulfur. I was gonna say like deathcore.
Yeah.
Shit. And that's deathcore, right? Of sulfur.
I would think so. Yeah, probably
some sort of death
melodic
metal for
deathcore.
Sure. Yeah. So back to the same old for you. Going way back for me, I guess, for the same old. I've been doing some ROI, which stands for what, Karen? I thought you would say radio and internet. I was going to say, no, it's return on investment. Don't listen to Russ Hanneman. But it's an old Silicon Valley joke. When Russ Hanneman walks in, he's like talking to the guys in the hostel, saying, hey, you know what ROI means? And then they start to say return on investment. And he's like, no, it stands for radio on internet. Any case, whatever. I've been listening to the radio on internet, ROI. Mostly Rock 108 and Laser 103.3 back home from Iowa. They both have apps, and I've been listening to them a lot, especially in the morning when I get ready for work. Yeah. And even honestly throughout the day as well, listening to them. And it's kind of fun to go back and listen to them again.
Yeah.
When we go back home to Iowa and we drive there, we do listen to them once we get in range to listen to the radio, listen to those two stations. And that's about all we listen to the radio for, honestly, anymore, is when we go back home for that.
Yeah, when we go home, yeah. Otherwise, we listen to, like, Spotify.
Yeah, and it's fun, don't get me wrong, but I have noticed after a couple weeks now of listening to it, or at least this last week and whatnot, it gets very, very repetitive. Yeah. They play the same fucking songs over and over. You know, it's the same complaint you have with the radio and whatnot.
Yeah,
so,
and they don't play music that I like to listen to, so.
I mean,
I shouldn't say that because I do like to listen to radio rock music, or what I call radio rock or radio metal, but most of the time I need something a little heavier. Yeah,
I like the programming on Rock 108. Typically, like even growing up, I liked it better. It just has more variety, and they do start to have heavier music now a little bit. They have Sabaton on there. They've been playing a lot of Disturbed as well. Avatar has been on there as well. So not like super heavy like you're saying. I know you're saying like Of Sulfur. They're not going to play Of Sulfur. Yeah. They're not going to play Lamb of God on the radio, which it really sucks, but whatever. But it's kind of fun. It does get very repetitive, so I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it too much longer. We are going back home to Iowa here for like a family trip here in a couple weeks.
So we'll listen to it then.
We'll listen to it then, yeah. And I might be done after that for a while until I get the itch to check it out again.
Yeah, you might have your like Iowa itch right now because you know that we're going home. So
yeah, maybe. I don't know what it was that got me sort of on this kick of like, oh shit, let's listen to some radio on the internet. But it's fun. It's fun to like check that out a little bit. You still get the commercials and all that shit, but whatever. It's the radio. It's fun. Yeah. I don't know. It's whatever. I said what I said. In any case, that was our little chat just to get us started here. Let's dive into our first sort of topic or the first sort of segment that we've added, which is the headlines. You sort of shot down the idea of naming this segment Tabs. But I don't know if we'll keep it as headlines, but yeah, diving into the headlines.
Tabs only works for you because like I don't open tabs. I open a link from a comment because I normally get it from like.
But doesn't that open into a new tab, so to speak?
No, it just opens from like Facebook or Instagram, wherever I'm at.
Okay.
It's not a new tab.
Okay. In any case, moving on to the headlines. The first one, Vola, VOLA, is good for 2020 shows. So apparently there was a fire last year that burnt down their warehouse, which had a bunch of their gear, their touring equipment, their stuff that the front of house used, merch and all of that, and burnt down and destroyed all their shit. And they launched a GoFundMe page to sort of recoup this stuff. And the article I read was from Metal Injection, like most of the ones I read. And at the time of that writing, their GoFundMe had raised roughly $138,000 US to help
they're Danish.
Rebuild their supply and their shit, right? So they now have the money to rebuild what they need to and go on tour. So that's really cool. I know you have not necessarily love hate. There's some GoFundMe's that you absolutely hate to see.
I just don't
personally.
I just don't personally care for the GoFundMe aspect, but I understand like they're a business and they need to take money as well. But like if for somebody absolutely in need, I would not, give to a GoFundMe. I would, try to donate to them directly.
Yeah.
Because GoFundMe takes a
do
portion
they?
of that. Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't know
They
that.
take a percentage. I don't know what it is.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's a business. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's a business and they need to, recoup some of the money and, make money themselves. But if there's something, like generally, like if it's something that has a different form of donating, I will donate.
Support that approach better or more frequent than this.
Yeah.
I wonder what Kickstarter. I'm sure Kickstarter takes a bit of a cut as well.
Yeah, I'm sure all those, any of those online platforms probably take something.
Yeah, I assume the difference between Kickstarter and GoFundMe is with Kickstarter, there's sort of an inherent, if I give you money to support your campaign, I get something out of this transaction, where GoFundMe is just, I'm giving you the money to give you money type thing. So I think that's the difference between those two platforms. But in any case, we get a show from this band I don't know anything about.
I was going to ask you because I'm like, I've never heard of Vola, so I didn't know how this came about to put this in here or like how to talk about them.
Yeah, no, I saw the headline. I've read the article and it's like, that's kind of cool. I like to see that. It's cool that the band is now going to be able to tour because the fans are supporting them by helping them fund their endeavors and whatnot. So that's cool. It's a band I'll definitely want to check out now. So it got me into the band that way. I haven't listened to them yet. Maybe next week that will be my focus for what I've been listening to.
They're a Danish progressive metal band from Copenhagen, formed in 2006.
Yeah, I think I've read that from the article of like what genre or that they're progressive. And I was like, shit, that'd be fun to check out. Yeah.
They have a Swede, so they have to be good.
Well, they are up there in
I know, I'm just joking.
Yeah. Moving on to the next headline. Do you know who Vinnie Vincent is?
I have absolutely no clue who that is.
Also agreed. They are a former guitarist for Kiss, apparently.
Then I would fucking not care.
Yeah, I don't care either. I only put this in here because apparently he has a new single out, or he has had a single out for a while, that he's been trying to sell to people for $200 for the single, and basically being like, hey, I'm going to try to get the money I think I'm owed for the song I'm writing.
He was only with Kiss for 2 years.
So he's riding that coattail forever.
Oh my God.
Also, he said, in this article, again, from Metal Injection that I read, was he's not going to release the album that single came off of until he sells every copy of his single. And even then, I guess it's rumored or reported or it's expected that album will then sell for $1,000 for the album. And it's like, okay, at least you got your name out there, got me to like look into you a little bit, but that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I've always said like artists, you should compensate the artists, but they're making art because they love to make the art.
Yeah.
This is a guy that feels like he's
owed something, so he needs to make money.
Yeah, or he's like, I'm making art to make money. I'm not in this to make something I enjoy. I'm making something to make money. Like my big thing is making money. And again, in Kiss for 2 years, I didn't know that. And gonna ride those coattails till they fucking, you know.
1982 to 84, he was in Kiss.
Yeah. So fuck that guy. Fuck that idea.
Yeah.
Next headline I have here is that MTV Rewind web app. So this launched shortly after MTV went dark on their radio channels, but apparently this web program, and I think I saw this on Reddit as well, but this guy went and got this developer went and got all the videos. There's like 33,000 plus music videos. Yeah. And then they have them organized into particular channels that you could watch based on what you want. And it's all online. There's no ads apparently at this moment. There might be somebody down the road.
Because somebody will probably buy it and then it turns into an ad or a moneymaker.
Right. And then it kind of starts to like, how do royalties then work for? Because you basically scrape this music video. How are you like? I don't know. I can see there not being ads, but yeah. In any case, though, there's different channels out there. There's 33,000 plus music videos on there that you can go and watch over and over, as well as particular programming that is music related, including Headbangers Ball, which I never watched the original Headbangers Ball. I watched it a little bit in the mid 2000s when they started bringing it back with, I can't remember who the band was. I want to say it was Good Charlotte, but I don't think that's right. It was like a pop punk.
During that time, yeah.
It felt very pop punky, so it was really weird that this band would be leading Headbangers Ball, But and again, they made these hosts might not have been technically pop punk, but I viewed them as not metal.
I see.
When they were on there. It's like, that's a weird fucking choice to have them. But in any case, I've never watched the old Headbangers Ball. It could be cool to check this website out and watch those. So
Yeah,
maybe
no,
a 666 down the road.
Yeah, I saw that too.
The next item we have is at the Ozzy Osbourne exhibit in Birmingham. I think it's called the Working Class Hero exhibit or something like that.
Working Class Man?
Working Class Man, yeah. Man or Hero, something like that. And I want to say it's Hero because that's also a John Lennon song.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like they ripped off of that or something. I don't know. But it's being extended until September of 2026.
Yeah, September 27th is the date.
Oh, is that the final date of it? At now.
Yeah, it was only supposed to be like, 4 weeks long or something to begin with.
In
And
July,
then he passed away.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they extended it to the end of last year. Now they've extended it again. So,
Which we went over for Back to the Beginning. We went and did check this out. It was okay. It's very small.
It's a hallway.
Yes.
Yeah. But it does have a lot of memorabilia and stuff. And when we were there, I think they took out, that round room.
Yeah.
That had 2 pictures of Black Sabbath, or maybe one of Ozzy and one of Black Sabbath, and then the book. I think that they've moved that out of that round room.
Okay. Was that the room with the with like the music videos going as well? They were doing like Mama I Came Home and Crazy Train.
Another room on the other side. So the round room is the first one that we personally walked into.
Oh, with all the art and everything.
Yeah.
Because there was one photo of the Black Sabbath. I remember that. Yeah.
So I think that they moved that, and then I don't know about the room with the music video playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was very small. There was some memorabilia. A lot of the stuff was, if I remember correctly, was like the records, the gold records. There were some of the trophies he had earned, like the MTV Reality Awards. Apparently they did that one year or some shit. I don't know. It's fun. It's cool. It's small. It was free. I think it's probably still free. But if you're in Birmingham and get the chance to check it out, it's definitely worth checking out.
Oh yeah, I would definitely walk in, especially with the free aspect. The free aspect. I saw on the same article, probably, well, maybe not this exact article, but on what I read for the expansion, that they've already had 480,000 visitors to the exhibit, and I'm wondering if that's only the people that signed the book.
Oh, I bet. There's no way you
can't calculate that.
Because this is a part of a larger museum as a whole.
And you just walk in, walk out.
Right.
Granted, I do think that we just walked in and walked out, but I think for like the days closer to the show, like maybe like that Friday, Saturday, Sunday sort of thing, I think that there was like a line. Like they were...
Oh, for real?
I don't think that they were necessarily letting people go in and out,
right?
Or like
you have capacity.
You have capacity
whatnot.
issues, yeah. So, but for us, like, we probably went like that Wednesday or maybe Thursday.
I can't remember. It was like one of the first days we got there. Yeah.
Probably Wednesday, but anyways, we just walked in and walked out. So there was no line.
Decent people in there, and again, it's a larger museum as well, so I would check out the whole.
Oh
museum.
yeah, we walked all over the place.
I had more fun at the museum as a whole than I did this one particular exhibit within the museum.
They have like the metal exhibit there too, right? Like of all the stuff that they made with metal, not metal like metal music, but metal like
so it's
like
a lot of the museum is basically going over the history of Birmingham, as well as there's like an industrial section, because it is a very working class. It's a working class fucking town, right? It's a blue collar, get your hands dirty, go out there and fucking work type shit. And they do have different sections for what they made, and one of them, which isn't a thing anymore, but they have matchbox cases.
Oh, right.
That you would put your matches in.
Wait, they took that down?
No, it's still there.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, they don't make them.
Matchboxes.
It's one of those things that you used to buy and would carry around with you, but now you don't do that, right?
Yeah.
And there are all these ornate matchbox cases, metal matchbox cases you can carry around with you. They had like the A to Z of what Birmingham brought to the world. H being heavy metal.
Yeah. There's a tea house there. We didn't use.
We did not.
Or not tea house. I think tea house is a different term that's used in like Nepal.
It's like a little cafe type
tea
thing.
Cafe. Yeah.
In any case, though, definitely if you're there, check this thing out. The next headline I saw come up is that the ICE ads on Spotify are no longer happening.
Good.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
I agree with that sentiment. Good, 100% agree. However, if you actually read the article, you read the headline, you're like, oh, cool, Spotify's finally listening to the people, and they're removing ICE ads because people don't like that and they don't support that shit. No, they removed them because the campaign that ICE paid for
expired. Shitty.
So they didn't rule out that they won't be back. Basically, if you give us money, we'll go ahead and put them back up there. So cool. The headline is a little misleading, but at least for the moment, they're no longer on.
They should not allow. I mean, granted, they're going to do it for money, but.
Right.
Okay, so that's still not good.
Yes, they're down for now because they didn't keep giving Spotify money, basically. So Spotify still a shitty fucking company. Still a goal to get the fuck rid of them. And I think I have some alternatives, but we'll look into that a little bit. That was the last one I had. It looks like you had a couple here to talk about 4 headlines.
Yeah. Stupid dumbass Ticketmaster leaked Poison the Well dates in Florida.
I kind of saw this.
Yeah, there was 4 dates that were leaked. I think that they put tickets up before it was announced or where they were supposed to be up.
So how do people find out? You just like
I'm sure
search
just
that probably?
searching. Yeah. Or like, like if you go into Ticketmaster, you know how like it'll have like the concerts near you or whatever.
Yep.
But it's kind of funny because I believe just 2 weeks ago there was a Lamb of God fuck up on Ticketmaster or Live Nation, but whichever one.
I think it was StubHub fucked it up.
Was it StubHub? Okay.
Somebody fucked up where they sent like Lamb of God to a Christian Christmas show or something.
It was a Christian like Christmas show, but they used a photo of Randy from Lamb of God.
Oh.
So like,
okay.
People, like it's not necessarily like, I mean, I'm sure people knew not to buy the tickets to that or whatever.
I thought I heard some fans did go to that thinking it was Lamb of God. So I thought they also put in the name like Lamb of God is playing this event or something like that.
Oh, really?
I didn't read the article.
People bought them?
I don't know. That's what I thought I read somewhere.
But that must just be people like being like, oh, I want to buy tickets to Lamb of God.
Maybe,
and like,
yeah.
Let's just go.
Yeah. But in any case, 2 fuck ups from 2 big distributors.
Yeah. It's like
relatively close.
For some reason, I thought it was Live Nation, but you were right. It was StubHub for the second one, or the Lamb of God one. But I was like, is somebody just secretly like under the table, like doing this shit to like fuck with them?
I don't think it's secret. Like, if anything, maybe it's somebody, it's just incompetence, not really double checking your work and just hitting a button and saying go type thing.
Yeah.
Outsourcing this to
maybe
a junior or somebody who just started working, like go ahead and put this in, hit this, or some sort of fuck up in your underlying system. I don't know, would be my guess.
Yeah.
But what's your next one?
Gojira officially announced their album in 2026. Not a date or anything.
Not a date, just an album.
Yeah, that they're working on. It's going to have heavy guitar riffs.
So they're working on it. Did they say it's going to be out this year?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm good for. I want to see another Gojira show. It's been a few years since we saw them. It was Mastodon. Well, Back to the Beginning. Sure, we saw them at Back to the Beginning, but
not
a
Gojira
proper show.
Yes.
Last one was that Mega Monsters tour with Lauren Shore. The first time we saw Lauren Shore, and then Mastodon.
Was that the first time we saw Lauren Shore?
I think it was.
Oh wow!
Because I was like, you're like, oh my god, you're gonna love this, and then I got there and was like, this is actually pretty good.
I don't remember if that was the first time or not, but
in any case, that wraps up our headlines for this week. With one exception, we have a new sort of headline that I started a new category for that hopefully is not up every week, but called Cemetery Gates. Basically riffing off of the Pantera song Cemetery Gates, which I love that intro for. But yeah, this is where
could have called it Obituary.
Could have called it Obituary too. Same concept.
I like Cemetery Gates though. I like that.
Yeah, the segment's for talking about the people who have left the music industry. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that we don't know about. So this is again based off of typically news articles or posts that we see about. And we'll go with that from there. There's going to be a lot of people we miss, especially in music and within metal. Hopefully we catch a fair number of them as they go and just, give them a few moments to, remember what they left in their legacy and whatnot. And this first one, definitely not metal related, but rock related. I know you will say no, but definitely rock.
Music related.
Sure, music related. Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead passed away. He was 78 years old and he died on January 10th. He got his final Saturday night, which when I found out he died before going to bed, we did listen to One More Saturday Night.
You
from
did?
them. I did. Yes, sure. You were there.
I was there. I could care less about Grateful Dead. I just don't care for it.
Yeah. I'm getting more and more into them, and I have over the last years as my buddy has got me into them. we're going to go see Dark Star Orchestra, which is a Dead and Company, or not Dead and Company, a Grateful Dead cover band. Dead and Company might have been a cover band, so to speak, but that's how I got into Grateful Dead and Bob Weir and going to see some of his shows. So I was fortunate enough to see them at the Sphere in Vegas last year, 2 years ago now, 2024.
Yeah.
It was a great show. The Sphere is awesome. I loved going to see Dead, and I was talking to my friend who was lucky enough to go to the 60th anniversary out in San Francisco in August of 2025, so just a few months ago, and said he fucking loved it. It was his only time that he had seen Dead in their home show in San Francisco, and he was talking about it, like this felt like a goodbye during that show, and I was like, well, so what's going to happen? Are they going to keep doing shit? And he was saying maybe there were people there talking that maybe Billy Strings takes over for Bobby in his role in Dead and Company, and they continue on with Dead and Company, or some other sort of iteration on this. But the important thing that he would always say is the music never ends. Even though people leave us, the music never ends, and it keeps going on and on. So just remember their legacy and keep enjoying the art and what they brought to the world. So, but yeah, Bob Weir. Sad to see him go. But yeah, it left a great legacy behind him for sure. So yeah, that wraps up the first part of our show. Now we move into our main topic, which is typically a concert report, but not for this episode. As the title of the episode says, it is about our book club episode, our second one we've ever done. And this is Corey Taylor's 7 Deadly Sins.
This took a while.
This did take a while. It is not just called 7 Deadly Sins. I didn't know if it had like a subtitle to it.
No, what's the subtitle?
7 Deadly Sins, settling the argument between Born Bad and Damaged Good. As we said, author was Corey Taylor. This was released in 2011, 14 years ago, 15 years ago now at 2026. Yeah. It was also his first book that he had published. Going into this, I knew it was called 7 Deadly Sins. I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping for an autobiography, and that's not what we got.
No. It has nothing to do with music. It has... Never mind.
No, go ahead.
It has to do with Corey Taylor thinking that he's God of all gods and can write... I mean, it's just his opinions about religion and the 7 deadly sins and like how they're stupid. I mean, like how they just don't apply to general life, and how anybody under like can be considered under one of those sins or whatever that the Bible says. And he does put some personal stories into it, but it's not done well or in, I don't know. I just feel like he shouldn't have, I shouldn't say he shouldn't have, but it just went on and on and on. And there's like, we listened to it on Audible, so I don't know about the writing aspect of it. Like we didn't read it, but it just almost seems like he wanted it more of like like he's having a conversation about it or with somebody about it. And it just like a drunken conversation. I'm going to say it that way, where, how you get to you definitely like get to a point where like all this just philosophical shit comes out of your brain, and it's like you're not making sense. You're going on and on about stories. The stories don't make sense in what you're trying to talk about, but you're trying to align them with what you're talking about. And that's just how I took this book. And why I said it took a while for us to get here is because we had to listen to it. I listened to it 3 times.
Yeah, so the first time we listened to it was when we were going on our camping trip, prepping for our summer festival camping trip.
Oh, okay.
So we had bought the book on Audible, read by Corey Taylor, and we're like, oh, that's, a 7-hour drive or something. This book's 7 hours. We can listen to this book there and back. And
is that when it was? It wasn't when we went to St. Louis?
No, I'm pretty sure that's when
okay.
It was.
Okay, that's fine.
And you were driving, because I don't drive that often, if at all. And we're listening to the book. And afterwards, you're like, I need to listen to that again. And I think when you were walking to and from work, you would listen to it. And then it had been a while since we'd listened to it, and I didn't remember necessarily as much. So while we ate dinner, we would listen to it every night for 30 minutes to 40 minutes a night to try to get through this real quick and re-listen to it. I went in definitely expecting an autobiography, hoping for an autobiography. And as you said, it is just, Corey Taylor starting with the premise of the deadly sins are bullshit. And
7 deadly sins.
Yeah, are bullshit and outdated. and don't apply, and we shouldn't have this dogma around them and all of that kind of shit. And cool, the premise I agree with. And then he goes into, each chapter is about one of the 7 deadly sins, and he goes into it describing what the sin is, why he thinks it's bullshit, and just going on and just constantly talking about that full-length chapter on that one 7 deadly sin. Every now and then he would throw some anecdotal evidence in. He would throw his past stories in as well, talking about this. But it did get extremely repetitive very soon. And when I was looking up, because I wanted to buy the book, like we have Randy's book. When we did this, we kind of held it up. It was kind of fun to read Randy's book and just have a physical copy. So I was going to buy one online. It's like, you know what? I want a hardback. I want to buy like a first edition. I think I found one on Amazon or some shit. Not that expensive either. So it's like, I'm going to go pick that up. And then I was like, no, fuck Amazon. I'm going to go try to just find this in the wild. If we ever see it out in the wild, I'll buy this. I didn't necessarily not like the book. I felt like you said it was very repetitive. And it was, Corey Taylor sort of putting his thoughts and his sort of verbiage onto it. But like I was saying, when I was reading or trying to find the book and reading people's sort of comments on it, some people were like, oh my God, this book is awesome. This book is awesome. There were some people like, this is fucking garbage. It runs on way too long. Yeah. And there was one comment that I saw that I 100% agree with. They were saying this was written in just a stream of consciousness. Basically, the second time I read it or listened to it, I was listening to it and I was like, this does feel like Corey just typed it out in the first draft. And he says in the book, I don't know if it's jokingly or not, it came off jokingly, but maybe could have been serious, of like, I wrote this over 2 weeks. And I could see that. I could see him just sitting down, and there are moments where he's like throwing jokes in there. He's like, well, I'm a little too irritated right now to keep writing, so I'm going to go take a break or go do this. And then he'd come back a little bit later and be like, all right, well, I'm back.
Yeah, eat the chips and dip, but don't double dip in my chips and dip. And that's what I'm saying. It's like a conversation that was happening, and I just don't, that format just didn't work. But the whole like just one conscious like run on where he's just typing it out, like that makes sense.
Yeah. It feels that way for sure. Like this was maybe just a 1 draft, 2 draft sort of submission.
Like he had a thought in his head. He's like, I'm just going to type this out and write a book and, sell books or whatever. When I said that it has nothing to do with music, that's kind of a lie, because he does talk about Slipknot a few times. He does talk about Stone Sour and how he like went to Denver and like broke up Stone Sour and then like went back because Denver didn't work out. But I don't know. It's not the most enjoyable for me.
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, then also like you can say Randy's book isn't about music necessarily. It is about his time.
Well, it wasn't, but it is about his time in prison. But it was due to an event that happened at a concert that they were. Yeah. That's where I'm like, oh, that ties into music.
Gotcha.
This was more like one thing that I did. Okay.
Yeah, what did you enjoy?
I did enjoy hearing about, because Corey Taylor grew up in Iowa for most of his life. I mean, I think he
bounced around quite a bit.
That he was like in Florida and stuff like that, like because he had a very unstable childhood or whatever. But who didn't have an unstable childhood? But he did mention that, like all the places that he talked about in Des Moines. Like there's one point when he mentions how he worked at a record store or like a music store or like a DVD music store or whatever, and he ended up getting fired because he had long hair. Yep. And he's like, well, this other person has long hair and they've worked there for 7 years.
And they were at the other store across town, and every time the supervisor came in, they would like take that person, shove him in the back so the supervisor don't see him.
You're not coming out here. Yeah. So in my we cut the first time we listened to it, especially we were trying to figure out what music store that would be, and like talking about things. There was maybe a venue mentioned or something.
They mentioned the movie theater, Billy Joel's Picture Show.
Yes.
And how he went to see Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's one of the things that was like early in the book, that they would always go there, always see Rocky Horror Picture Show at Rocky Horror Picture Show at Billy Joel's Picture Show. Yeah. Which is kind of cool because as soon as he said that, I was like, holy shit, I've been there. I went to see Tom and Jerry there for like $1, I think it was, during our like summer children's watch thing, whatever you call those, daycares.
Children's watch thing.
Yeah, where the people watch the children, daycares. One of our daycares went there for like an afternoon for the $1 Tom and Jerry movie. So I'd been there and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. Also, I'm pretty sure I've heard this story from my dad and mom that they used to go to see that as well, and she was auctioned off as like the virgin while she was 7 months pregnant with me, which was like the joke. So in the late '80s, if Corey Taylor was there, it's like holy shit, did our past me? And like you were saying, the music store was at Sam Goody in the mall.
Yeah, he never says the music store, but we were like trying to figure out like, well, obviously it's a chain of some sorts because they had multiple stores.
Yep.
You know, trying to figure that out. And he talks about like he mentioned Bolorama, which you said that you don't know about Bolorama.
No, I don't know about Bolorama.
I mean, I don't know if I ever went to Bolorama. I just remember hearing about it.
There was another time where he mentioned, I think it was about theft, and he was talking about he would steal the bark candy, those barks.
Oh yes, from Fairway. Well, he didn't say Fairway.
I was going to bring this up too. He didn't say from Fairway.
Yeah.
In Iowa, there's two main chains. There used to be three. Dolls was in like the Des Moines area. That collapsed.
I didn't grow up with Dolls though.
I grew up in Des Moines, so I had Dolls until it went under. I think in like the early 2000s. But Fairway and Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee's typically the more expensive stores that you would go to. Fairway is typically the cheaper store. And by cheaper, I mean it has this sort of connotation in town of like, oh, that's where the poor people go and buy. Even though it's not. It's just cheaper groceries. And even Hy-Vee is comparable. Like
the prices are comparable,
yeah.
But Fairway does have some cheaper pricing. And back in the day, they used to be like match the ads and shit like that. So it's like it was the cheaper place to buy groceries.
Right. But I remember Fairway having those pick-a-mix candy bins. They took it away in the we were still working there when they took it away, I think. But when we changed stores, they added it to the new store.
Yeah, we had it at the new store.
But eventually, I think they got rid of it.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, not while we worked there.
Oh, no?
No,
so it might still be there?
It was still there, but like North Liberty didn't have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
In any case, the pick-a-mix candy thing was a thing. And
it's done by the weight. It's like one of those that like you scoop it out with a scoop and you put it in a bag. And some were just chocolates, some were like wrapped candies.
The fruit slices and whatnot.
Yeah. And then like it's done by the weight or
whatever.
But
as soon as he said that, I was like, holy shit, he was a Fairway shopper. That's where we shopped. That's where I worked was Fairway. Like, holy shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely never crossed paths with him at a Fairway, but like, holy shit, that's where he was. But in any case, he was talking about how like lying and theft is bad and blah, blah, blah. So if Corey's listening to this, he's not. But just to ease your conscience a little bit, everybody knows, even us employees at Fairway knew if you eat it in the store, it's free. So especially that candy.
You can come up to the checkout with a banana pill or like a pit of a peach and it's just free.
Yeah, it's not how it works, but that's how people treated it. It was a joke with employees.
It was so annoying.
But I'm not going to lie, I did steal some of that candy as well while working. I would walk back to the meat department, and as I walked back, I'd grab a handful, or not a handful, like 2 pieces, and eat it as I checked in, clocked in, and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I never did that, but I did work at the front and had people
bring you the banana pill.
Yeah, like, or I'm sure that there was they probably ate the candy out of the bag before they came up or something. I don't know. But I can't remember everything he said about the deadly sins.
Yeah, I can't either. There was a lot of run on. Like each sin sort of bled into one another. And a lot of his arguments were basically the argument he used for the last sin, which again, like these sins, it kind of supports his premise, I guess.
Yeah.
And his sort of, whatever in the book. And again, I agree with that. It felt very long. And this didn't read necessarily like a book that I wanted to read right now at this point in my life. It definitely read like somebody presenting a college essay or paper for their, theology or morality class or something like that.
That would make sense, yeah.
That's how it read to me.
Yeah.
And I've written shit like this too in the past. I did it for like the 11 points of the Scout Law or something. Scout is blah, 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 blah. Basically like saying these are all bullshit. They don't support, like if this is what a Boy Scout believes in, therefore they should believe in, this is when they weren't allowing gay people in Boy Scouts. So it's like, by doing this, you're breaking your own laws and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I've done similar things, but again, it read more like one of those type of things, not necessarily something I would read for entertainment. Again, he did try to throw some of that conversational shit in there for entertainment.
Yeah.
One thing he threw in there that I fucking absolutely hated was the whole movie nacho thing. I don't know if you remember that. there's a part where he's like, movie theater nachos are not nachos. And he goes off on this tirade about
Oh,
what
yeah.
nachos are.
Well, he talks. I mean, I guess that's kind of like at the end where he talks about like the chip dip.
Yeah.
Stuff.
And I was just like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, no, like, one, I agree with you. Movie theater nachos are not nachos, but also, why the fuck are you getting
Yeah.
nachos at a movie theater?
But
Get
why is
fucking
it
popcorn.
And why are you putting it in the book?
It was a joke that supported whatever the next argument was. I think it was
Yeah.
rage. It was the rage chapter that he brought that up because like, oh, now I'm really enraged and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. Those, I did not like the book, but I did like those moments, those stories of his past, and where he's revealing more personal stuff than picking a topic and let's do a analysis on that topic. I wanted to know more about him as a person.
Yeah.
And those little insights he had were my favorite parts. There was one chapter that was all about him, which was My Waterloo, where he spent his entire time talking about his childhood in Waterloo in particular. And that was the best chapter in the book for sure for me. Again, that got me what I wanted. I just wish the book was more of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that's where he was kind of trying to go with it by putting in the personal stories into the 7 sins, and it just didn't work out in the best way.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good call out, I think.
Yeah.
But he does wrap it up at the end by presenting his new version of the 7 deadly sins.
7 deadly sins. So the 7 deadly sins in the like St. Thomas version of the book. Is that the right version? What's the version?
There's different versions of the 7 deadly sins, I think, but they're most likely always almost the same. I think there's like 1 or 2 that switch here and there.
Okay, so pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth are what the Bible says, or whatever, or like what religious people say.
I don't think it's necessarily in the Bible. I think it's like a theological text that's sort of been canonized, sort of like Dante's Inferno isn't in the Bible.
Okay, that's cool. I don't know that much about religion, but he says, and I agree with his a little bit more than what that.
Yeah,
but that was from like the 13th century, so yeah, it wouldn't be in the Bible. But it was from the 13th century. So.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It'd be, someplace.
So his are murder, child abuse, rape, torture, theft, lying, and then his added bad music to get to 7.
Yeah.
So obviously the first 6, totally agree with. They should be more called out than like gluttony and shit like that. I mean, I get where like times or whatever, but I think they were more calling out like kings and shit like that. Like don't take more than what you need or whatever like that. Not necessarily being like, don't eat too much. Just,
right.
You know, because generally it was like the kings are fat and the peasants are skinny.
And again, we always think of gluttony in terms of eating, but there's other forms of gluttony.
Yeah,
and again, Corey talks about that in his book. Like gluttony is more than just eating. It's blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he talks about how like, you know, in the original 7 deadly sins are the ones that he was talking about, how 2 of them together can become sinful, but as a standalone thing, they aren't sinful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in sins anyways, but
sure,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, look down
evil,
upon
like
or
maybe evil. Yeah.
And I mean, I guess with the 7 deadly sins, like a lot of evil people might have more than one of them, but yeah, calling out like actual like illegal activities and like harmful activities is more what I think he was going for at the end of the book, and that kind of makes more sense than calling out like these lustful things or whatever. The bad music though.
Yes, let's talk about that
because that's music related. And I get what he's going for. And now I wonder what he would say, because this was written in 2011 and now we have AI generated music. We have more poppy, non like electronic music. And when I say poppy music, I just mean like the not very well put together music. It's more like I sing on Instagram and now
gotcha.
Now I'm famous,
like
sort of thing.
Like the social media type.
Yeah.
Music.
So, I mean, granted, I find a lot of music on Instagram, but anyways, so he does go into how he doesn't like non-talented music, and he uses auto-tune as his example of, I mean, granted, he's a vocalist, so that would make sense to go into auto-tune, but it's like anybody can speak into a mic and have it
Go into, have the producer go in
Yeah.
and tweak it on the computer.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, back in 2011, that was kind of the thing, is like auto-tune was the big thing of like, you might not be a great artist, but auto-tune is a thing. But he does say that like he won't have his kids listen to bad music or whatever. I mean, one of his kids is now
A musician.
a musician.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they probably didn't listen to that much bad music. But also, bad music is objective.
He does call that out as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and when I was listening to it the first time, I remember being like, yeah, but people would say the music we listen to is bad.
Right.
Even though a lot of the music we listen to, well, I've towed the line a little bit because I do listen to some more stuff that has like backing tracks and shit like that in it. But a lot of stuff that we listen to is produced by people actually playing instruments and that sort of thing, and not necessarily like pushing a button or using autotune and shit like that. So, but whatever. But the whole objectivity of it being more, like I said, people could think that the music we listen to is bad. But I think he was more going to like pop music and, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, he does say that like there's good music in all genres, and he can call out particular art. He didn't call any names out or anything, but he's like, there is good music in every single genre. I'm not going to say there isn't. He does, like you said, call out that, it is subjective to sometimes. So part of me is like, how do you quantify this? The first 7 they are pretty quantifiable in terms of like, this is an action. Yeah. This is like, you do this action, this murder happens. You know what I mean? Like, you do this action, child abuse happens, right? Bad music is like, how do you know it's bad? Like, people would say your music is bad. How would you tell them they're wrong and you're right, type of thing? You know what I mean? Or that's what you were saying. So I agree with that. Yeah.
But I think that's also kind of where the attitude of, I was just like, who is he to say what the thoughts are to write this book?
Right.
It is his thoughts and all that stuff.
It's his opinion. Yep.
But it's just like, why do you have the authority to write this? I don't know. I thought about that a lot when we read the book or listened to the book. Sorry, I keep saying read.
I say read when I listened to it as well. So,
but when we listened to it, I was just like, but who are you to have that? Like, I mean, granted, we're the one that bought it and listened to it, but it's like, who are you to be the authority on this?
And he's not necessarily, I feel like he's not saying he is the authority. I feel like he's just saying like, this is my opinion. This is what I believe. You can believe it or not, whatever. I don't care. This is
but
my
does he
thought.
ever say my opinion?
He doesn't. Does he have to? Like, it's his book. It's his opinion, right?
But I'm not like trying to argue about it.
No,
I'm just wondering if you remember him ever saying my opinion.
I think at the very end he may have like, so these were my thoughts. This is what I thought. If you like it, cool. If not, if I don't sell 100 copies, great. And then he goes off on his grandmother house. He's going to go to all the Barnes and Noble. And then he's like, look at me thinking my book's going to even be in Barnes and Noble. So there is some humility from that standpoint of like, whatever.
And maybe it was just like, it was 2011, so it was between, like, there wasn't that many tours going on. I don't even think Stone Sour was touring right then.
I think when they started to pick up Stone Sour more. See, this is right when I started to get out of metal a little bit and going more into, like, the indie and folk sort of path.
Like, I feel like 2012, 2013 bands started picking up again, or, like, some stuff was starting to happen.
The Gray Chapter, I think, is when they finally came back. So I don't know. Psychosocial was probably 2007, 2006-ish, 2008-ish. And then I don't think there was anything after that until 0.5, the Gray Chapter.
Yeah.
And
there was like 6
Paul
years
passed
where like
away
nothing was
within
really
that
happening.
range as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's when he did focus on Stone Sour a little bit more, and they released a few albums. But again, I wasn't really following him that much then either.
Yeah. But anyways, what I was going to say is like, maybe he did have 2 weeks to just sit down and write something out. And also, I do think that because you used Randy's book Dark Days for your book club.
Yeah.
And some people who read that kind of said like he just runs on and on and on, and his talking is just running on and on and on. And I'm wondering if that's just a vocalist thing. And because like they are storytellers, they are, so it's like they have all these stories in their head, and generally, this is maybe too far-fetched, but they have all these stories in their head, and they need to have it done in 3 minutes or 4 minutes in a song, and you can only use like small sentences.
So now
or
when
whatever.
you get them written down, they can just
I
can go on as long as I want.
Exactly. Like, I don't know if that's the truth or, like whatever, but these are the only 2 vocalist books we've listened to or read.
We've also not really read much nonfiction in terms of like from a person's point of view. Like, at least I don't. I read a lot of fiction.
Okay, I've read a.
Have you? Okay.
I like nonfiction a lot.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like,
especially in college, I read a lot of nonfiction.
I mean, yeah, in college I did too, but that was a little more like the assignment. And I mean, I was also really into it, like reading books on like philosophy and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, is that fiction or nonfiction? I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
but like, yeah, I'm just saying that. Like, I read a lot of memoirs and stuff from Soviet Union days and stuff.
See,
like
I
that,
didn't,
so.
and that's where I was like, is that just this style of writing where it is sort of this run on? Because going back to the book club thing, you said some people are like, he just talking about Randy. He's like, he just comes off as like an asshole, and I was like, I guess you can see that.
See, and I thought Corey came off as an asshole.
So there were times when we were reading this book as well as Dark Days, and I kind of got the sense that both. Well, I thought this with Randy, and now I think it with Corey. They're both a little older than us. They're in their 50s and whatnot, so they're the generation behind us, or whatever.
Or the generation behind us, and ahead of us,
Some of the things Corey was saying in the book, I was like, that just seems like an old, outdated way of thinking of things, or at least that generation's way of thinking of things.
Yeah, I guess
there was like that moment where he's talking about, hey, I believe in equal rights, women going out and working and making a similar wage.
I remember this, yeah.
I 100% support that, but it's not expected of you women to do this. Men, it's expected of us to go out and provide for the family. And in my head, I'm like, what the fuck are you like? That's
the thought I had too.
This is an old person's way of thinking of things, and it took me back to be like, well, he is older than us. That is his generation.
In my mind, I'm like, nobody's forcing a man to go out and work.
Yes,
like you don't have to go out and work. A lot of my own mother was the person who worked for my brother's entire and she still works today.
Yeah,
but like my stepdad did shit, so you can't say.
No, I agree.
He's the one that I say he did shit. He stayed home with the kid, but he literally stayed home and he's never going to listen to this. He stayed home and did shit while my mom busted her ass and worked. So,
yeah. And to go back to Randy as well, he's talking about like a man doesn't do X, a man doesn't do Y, and I'm a man. So like, again, that's just an old of.
Yeah.
So again, it seemed very.
I mean, a lot of people have those views today where like the man has to be the provider and the woman needs to stay home and do shit.
It just seems like a very old way to think. So there were moments like that. Going back to the new 7 Deadly Sins, I agree with you that, the last one, that bad music is really weird. And I had the same thought you had of like, what would Corey Taylor's new 7 Deadly Sins be today? Because he does say in the beginning of that chapter, like, we need to revisit these 7 Deadly Sins and change them out periodically, not just set them in stone for 1,000 years and run with them. So
fascism.
I'd like to see what his new ones were. But going back to the bad music, I hate that one in this list. I don't think it's good. I get why he threw it in there. If I could change it to make that one sin a little better, what I would change it to is commercialized art.
Oh, that's a good one.
Not just music, because it applies to movies, it applies to paintings, it applies to books, and now it also then applies to AI. And I understand that art is to some extent commercialized. Like you need to, and we talked about this earlier with Vinnie Vince of like,
you gotta make money to
people
do it,
sell their art to make money. But my argument is the good artists, the ones that matter and the ones that are good, make art because they like to make the art.
Yeah, and they bust their butt to do it and stuff like that. And it's not all about, well, my name is Vinnie Vince, so I get to make money off of this.
Right, exactly. It's, I love to write music. I'm going to write music. Not that I want to make a buck. What's the most popular song I can make? Same with movies. I want to make the biggest blockbuster movie that makes the most money, even though it's shit. You know what I mean? Like Michael Bay movies. Fuck Michael Bay. So that's how I would change that last one, is to commercialized art.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if it's a sin, if it belongs on that list, but I do hate commercialized art. So, and AI art. So that, again, I don't know.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from there.
I have one last comment I want to talk about with the book, but I want to see if there's anything else you have before moving on, I guess.
I don't know. I was thinking about saying like recommend, not recommend. Do you want to talk about that really quick, or do you want to talk about that at the end?
We can talk about that at the end,
Okay.
I guess.
Go ahead with your comment.
My last thing is, we've mentioned this, we listened to the book. We got the audio version, which was read by Corey Taylor.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So going into it, I was actually really excited for that because I was expecting him to read it like he does his spoken word songs on Stone Sour tracks. So the last track on the first album, I can't remember what the name of it is, Omega or some shit, I don't know. It's just him doing a spoken word type thing, and it's really good. It's one of my favorite tracks on there. Then the second album came out, Come Whatever May, I think that's the name of the second album, and there was no spoken word. And then the extended deluxe edition came out with bonus tracks, and the last track on that, I believe, is called The Frozen, with another spoken word track. It starts with like the girls are all frozen in this cardboard cutout town. I'm assuming he's talking about LA, where he's living during this book. And I loved his, the way he read that spoken word thing and he presented those words and how he articulated the words and just the flow of it all. I love the sound of that, and I love those tracks. So going into this book, I was expecting that sort of reading and presentation of the book and sort of acting of as you're doing it and whatnot. But what we got was Corey Taylor just reading a book. It was just him like going through reading the pages. There was very little emotion to it. There were moments where he would do like the jokes or the yelling at like into the thin air, like old man Corey, and like there was some emotion there. But for the most part, it was just him reading, and it was very dull and very boring. We did the second time listen to it sped up. I think
We
like
did, yeah.
1.2 to 1.5 times.
Yeah.
Especially the very last chapter
Yeah.
where he's doing his bullshit like storytelling thing that he did, which I didn't. That was my least favorite part of the book at all. Truly was. I get that, like, hey, now I get the free reign just to go out and bullshit whatever I want. It was an 80s action thriller thing that he was doing. I get what he was trying to do. I did not enjoy that bit. But that was the one disappointment with the audio version of the book, is I wanted more presentation or more emphasis put onto the reading of the book, and he didn't do it as much. But yeah, that was my last. I didn't know if you had similar thoughts with the audio version or not, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't care how you read it.
You didn't?
No.
I was a little disappointed, but maybe I set
Yeah.
myself up to be disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't know about the spoken word songs and stuff, or like that
Yeah.
you wanted it read that way or anything like that. So
But then recommend, not recommend. You wanted to talk about that.
yeah, I've really thought about this a lot since we started talking that we would do this as a book club many months ago. And I think I would not recommend it to somebody who wants a music related book. And that's how I would go into it,
Okay.
is music related. But if you're a fan of Slipknot or Corey Taylor, or just want to know more about his early life, there are some stories sprinkled in there.
Not very many. Just read that Waterloo chapter, I guess.
Yeah.
And that might be good enough
Yeah.
to get by. The other stories in there, about him having sex and whatnot, I didn't give a shit about those.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
I didn't care.
That was see, and that's again back to the whole man conversation,
Yeah.
like drunk man conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I could care less about your sexual exploits after concerts and shit
Yeah.
like that. Like, and then how he yeah, and then he opens up with like, "This is dedicated to my wife," who is not his wife today, but it was his wife at that time.
I was wondering that. I couldn't remember
Yeah,
that
no,
was. If they were,
he has a new wife.
Okay.
Yeah, but some people change out wives like they
It
change
happens.
out.
Yeah.
But
I
not that makes you a bad person or
Yeah.
anything, but it's just like, I don't know.
yeah.
I'm still a prude when it comes to that. So
So that's your recommendation, sort of a yay nay type thing.
yeah, just kind of like, just know what you're getting into before you get into it, sort of thing.
I agree with that aspect. Just know what you're getting into. I wanted a lot more of the personal aspects of it, and he's got other books out there, and those, the way the titles are, they seem like they're not very revealing of who he is necessarily as a person. There might be little nuggets here and there, like there were here, so you get a better picture. If you read all the books, I guess you can cut and piece it together. So that was a little disappointing. I think he is a good writer. I think he can be a good writer at times. I think.
I don't think he wrote this well.
No, I agree with that. I think he definitely has the talent to write. I think he's definitely a great writer. You can look at his lyrics to like see his like from a poetry standpoint, right? And be like, I think he's a good writer. What he did here, I do not think was all that good. Like, again, it felt very college paper-esque to me. And I did sort of enjoy it. I didn't, if I had to give it on a scale of, like a rating of 1 to 10.
4.
Yeah, I was going to say about 4. Yeah. The Waterloo chapter, to me, that was like a good 7, 8 chapter, but most of the other stuff was, it was fine, right? It was just fine at best.
Yeah.
So,
on to better books for next time.
Yeah, I'm glad we read it, but definitely not a highlight for me. I think the next one we're gonna do is Mark Morton's book.
Mark Morton's, yeah.
You've already read it.
I read it once. I want to read it again. Yeah.
I think you said you really enjoyed it.
I did, and that's why I want to read it again.
I haven't read it yet, but I want to read it as well.
Yeah.
So that will be our next book club. Who knows when that will happen? Yes.
Well, I'll probably read it on our next trip.
Yeah.
And then you can read it after that.
Yeah, or possibly make my book club suffer again and read it as well. So
they're gonna kick you out.
With Mark Morton, though, also he does have an audio version.
He does, yeah.
And he reads it.
And if you want to buy that, you can.
And maybe that's what we do. We have both of them, so we can check that out.
But I want to read it again.
So that will definitely be happening for our next book, I think.
Yeah.
But Corey Hiller's 7 Deadly Sins,
okay.
meh. Yeah. Mark Morton's book is next. So yeah, that will wrap it up though for our main topic of the evening. Got just a couple other segments here real quick that we want to touch through. Starting with new music released. And again, I did not listen to any of this. This is just bands. I'm going to say the band and the song they released.
You need to change that. It needs to be songs that you listen to.
Well, it's also like now I can reference this in the past and I go back and re-listen to everything.
Okay.
So this is definitely something on the list that I want to listen to, but this is just a way for me to keep track of what music was released this year or within this period.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing. I know you probably listen to everything that you put on here.
Oh, I only put one.
Oh, okay. All right. So going through here, we have Silosis with Erased. Then we have Distant with Nothing Left to Hate. A Wilhelm Scream, Midnight Ghost. And I do know the Wilhelm Scream. That is the scream that's in like all the movies. It's the first scream ever or some shit. And every time an editor puts it in, they'll try to sneak it in there. So when somebody like jumps off a cliff, you'll hear like, ah, you'll hear that same scream. And it's in like so many movies. And once you know it's there, people hate it or love it. Like it's one of those things. So,
but this is a band called the Wilhelm Scream?
This is the band called after that scream.
Okay. Who are they? Like, who are they or what are they? What, like,
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Another song that was just released this week or what not, and definitely want to check that out. So,
okay.
Yeah. Then we have Space Variations with Ghost Town. Bleeding Through, we like them. They have a new song out, We Want the Truth, which is a Sick of It All cover. Then we have Transcending Obscurity with, all right, yeah. Transcending Obscurity. This is a record label, and they've released a free sampler of 26 bands, and they're like brutal metal, death metal kind of bands. So they have like their yearly sample out right now, and that was released. So
where do you listen to that?
Online, I think. I'll have to find the article again, or maybe just go to their website and maybe we can find it there. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, holy shit, that's kind of cool. I know some labels would do that, right? Where they'd send out like a sampler disc. Mayhem, I've heard of them. I've never actually listened to them, but they have Life is a Corpse You Drag.
I'm surprised Mayhem still, I mean, granted, I don't follow Mayhem either, but I'm surprised that they still have new music.
Yeah, same.
But people probably say that about
a lot of bands.
Old bands, yeah.
After that, we have Black Veil Brides with Certainty. After that, we have Lancelos and Diasis.
That says Daisies.
Daisies? All right, so it's Lancelos and Daisies.
Why are we saying Diasis?
I don't know. I was just, that's how I read it. That's what my mind said. So if anything, this segment will give people enjoyment with my fucking dyslexia here reading off this shit. After we have that fuck up by me, we have Converge. We Were Never the Same. And the next couple we have, I didn't know where to put, but you had them up in the headlines, I think, for like Gojira, but Sun O is releasing their self-titled album out on April 3rd. You can pre-order that now on, I think, Sub Pop, I think is the new label they're on, so that can be pre-ordered. And then also Lamb of God has a new album being released this year. And on their website and their merch store, at least as the time of this recording, they still have the first pressing of the vinyl up there. It's like $21 or some shit.
What's their
Pretty
new
cheap.
album called?
It doesn't have a name. So if you go and actually look at like the website, the album just says new album, first pressing, $21.98. Only 1,000 copies of this. And if you look at sort of the album art, it's just a orange, not orange, that's yellow.
Yellow or green. Yeah.
Puke colored green, with Lamb of God on the top upper right. So like no information whatsoever.
Interesting.
Other than like, hey, we have a new album and it's coming out this year and it's a full album. So I guess that could be news related I guess it's sort of official that Lamb of God has a new album out. They've had a couple songs released in the last, few months. So it was sort of expected from me, but yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was wondering what it was called, but they haven't even announced that yet.
After that, we have Arcspire with their new song of Limb of Leviacus. I think that's what it is. This one to me was, we supported their Kickstarter. It kind of would have been cool if the Kickstarter backers got access to it before anyone else did.
Oh, they didn't announce it on the Kickstarter?
No, I didn't see anything.
Okay.
So I'm not also following it that closely. Whenever they post stuff, I think we get the email. And it's just been like, hey, we're going to ship shit out, people, blah, blah, blah. I do wish that was sort of something they would do as part of the Kickstarter is like, you helped us build the album. Here's one of the songs you helped support. Here's an early release of it, and then do it out through the mainstream and whatnot. So that was a little like, it could have been a little bit better there in terms of marketing aspect, I guess. Yeah. But they're doing it all themselves. They went independent with that Kickstarter, and this is the first song off of that. So again, haven't listened to this. I'm excited to check it out.
You haven't listened to any of the songs you just said.
I have not. So we need to, we'll talk about revamping this a little bit, this segment. There's one more song that you added.
Well, it's an entire album by Alter Bridge, and it's just called Alter Bridge. So it's self-titled. Self-titled album. So I did listen to it, and that's probably why I only added one instead of 5 songs or 2 songs or whatever. But to me, I don't know Alter Bridge that much. I was even thinking, like, I don't even know a song by Alter Bridge. Do you? Like, that we've listened to?
I'm sure I would. If I hear it,
if
I
you
will.
Heard it,
I think it's on the radio. Like, they're on the radio every now and then.
So that's what I was thinking. And I was like, I need to just go through Spotify and listen to, like, their first 5 songs or something like that. And then I would probably remember it. But it's a very much, like, Shine Down 3 Days
Radio
Grace.
rock.
Yeah, like, Shine Down 3 Days Grace. Like, if you like them, you would probably like this album because it definitely has that same tone or like sound and stuff like that. So
yeah, so we might need to revamp this a little bit. I was just throwing out new music in this sort of segment as, hey, this band released this song, mostly as a way for me to remember for historical reasons going back. 6 months from now, I can come back to this outline that we have written up here, and I can go, oh, let me listen to Silosis. I didn't check that out. As well as anybody who's listening to this point who's like, I want to, oh shit, I didn't hear about that. Let me go check that out. Or here's some new bands I should listen to type thing. So that's sort of what I was using this segment for. But yeah, I will do better at trying to listen to the music as well as it comes out.
I just don't want to have a list of 20 songs and then it's like, we don't even know who the band is or what it sounds like.
Also, I don't know if this is common to have this many songs released within a weekly period, or if
I think so, because like I follow 2 publications now that like do new music,
and
really? For the 16th the list is huge.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna pick a couple songs off of it and listen to them.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need to start doing as well.
Especially new bands, like that I'm not aware of. I mean, Alter Bridge, I just figured that's a very common band, even though we don't listen to them. But
yeah, so maybe I need to start doing that too. Maybe like start with this list and then whittle it down to like, these are the ones I actually listen to and we can talk about during this segment.
About that offline.
Offline.
We'll circle back to that topic.
Yeah, we can have an ad hoc meeting to discuss this a little further.
Yeah, I'll put it on a calendar. Anyways, we're done with that shit.
Work is done. This work.
Yes.
All right, the next segment we have, the one that I'm really excited to talk about every week, is the concert calendar.
Yeah, so we delayed recording this a couple days because of personal shit that was happening. And it's a Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
And like the 2 Tuesdays before Christmas, the announcements today We're outrageous.
There were some really good announcements today. Yes.
So we have quite a list. Next week we might have 0. We'll see how it goes.
So yeah, last week we recorded on Monday.
Yeah.
Then Tuesday came out, and the first start of this is the stuff that was released on that Tuesday.
Like the first 5 or something.
Yeah, and then there was a couple other things that trickled in, and then like you said, like today was Tuesday, and we were debating if we wanted to throw this out there or not.
Yeah, but we figured we'll just put it out there, and then we'll see what next break.
And also these tickets are
brings.
and also these tickets are going on sale relatively soon.
So this is gonna a lot of the 3 that I texted you about today. They go on sale, I think, Friday.
Right.
So like this is gonna go up Thursday, so it'll go on sale.
So if
Friday.
people are actually listening to this, this will help. Like it will be a little better than having
Yeah.
to like wait and whatnot.
Yeah.
In any case, starting off, we have Spite is doing a North American tour with Emer.
Emer.
Why don't you read off these names so I don't fuck it up?
Psycho Frame, and Revert. Or Reverent. Sorry, Reverent. The 3 got me.
Yeah, the 3 for the E.
What dates are these?
So it's starting on 5/29, so May 29th in Portland, Oregon, ending on June 27th in California. But it's not just a West Coast show. They are going out east to New York, as well as here in Chicago. They're going to be at Bottom Lounge.
Yep. Detroit, St. Andrews Hall. We've been there.
Yeah. So they're bouncing
The
coast to
Summit
coast.
in Denver. See, I like bouncing around to see other venues because then when the name pops up, it's like, oh, we see them.
We've been there. We've been there. I really want to make this one work, but I don't think we will.
I don't think this one will work for us. No.
But this would have been a good one to see for sure.
Yeah, and it only won't work because the dates that they're around us is Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Yeah.
So.
And they're not at Milwaukee Metal Fest, so I mean we've seen Spite twice.
Yep.
There was the first time, and then also the second time we saw them. The next next tour we have is Crowbar and I Hate God. They were on tour last year, came through Chicago at Reggie's.
Was that a tour or was it just a few shows?
I don't know. I don't know how many this shows is either.
This one's large.
Is
this
it
one
pretty
has
large?
a large? Yeah. So when I saw this tour announced,
Oh yeah, this is massive.
yeah, I mean compared to last year I don't think it was this many cities.
Starting in March on the 19th and then ending on April 16th in Washington,
So look at the
North Carolina.
April 16th and where are they playing?
North Carolina, Reggie's.
Oh. So I saw sold out at Reggie's and I was like, what the fuck? Crowbar is coming back to Reggie's?
And
I'm
already
like,
sold out.
and they're sold out. Are they going to do a matinee again?
So that's what happened last time when they came through. They had a night show.
Yeah.
We didn't buy tickets. It sold out. Like, oh fuck, that's bullshit. Then Talia Hall did like a open house where you can go in. They had like a music festival thing going on, so we bought tickets to that, not knowing you didn't have to buy tickets.
No,
they were free
just
tickets.
it was a straight fest.
So we didn't buy tickets. But in any case, we had plans to do that, and I think we had something going on that night too. I don't know what it was.
We had 2 things going on that day. Yeah.
In any case, then Crowbar announces a matinee show the same day, which would have been weird as fuck to see.
We should have went to that. But anyways,
should have.
when I saw the Reggie's, it was on Instagram and it was like, Reggie's sold out. And I'm like, holy fuck, they're coming back to Reggie's. Not realizing that the Reggie's was in North Carolina.
Yeah, Crowbar, I Hate God. That's 2 boat shows. We could have, I would have had to wear one vest. What one do I pick? Type thing.
Yeah.
But that would have been a vest show for sure, a boat show. So we're gonna miss this one, unfortunately. I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah,
but,
I don't think they're coming through Chicago.
But that would have been a fun one to see.
I mean, they were just here last year, so that's why they're not coming through again.
Yeah. Filth is on tour with their Beast of the East U.S. tour with Blackwater Drowning, Autumn Lies Buried, Coma Wave, and Jaw Jacked. If the name isn't saying it all, it's only out east. I don't know who this band is, but that title or that tour name is fucking awesome.
Filth? You've never heard of Filth?
Nah, have you?
I've heard of the name. I don't know their music, but
Yeah, super fucking awesome tour name. And
they're playing at Reggie's in North Carolina as well.
Reggie's is expanding all over the place. Well, one
it's
location. Moving along, because we do have a lot of tours to go over still. We have Exhumed is doing a U.S. tour with Oxygen Destroyer and Nomos. Starting in
Soon, February 19th.
Starting February 19th.
This was just announced?
Yeah. Well, last weekend, I think. Or last Tuesday.
Okay.
It was.
That just seems really soon.
February 19th in San Jose, California, ending in San Francisco.
Oh, that's
as
cool
well.
that they're going. I mean, they're not going to very many cities, it doesn't look like. But
No, and again, it's coast to coast. They're
coast
going
to coast, but south.
Yeah,
if you
going
notice
down
the
through
dates.
Texas, Florida, Arizona, so on and so forth.
Yep.
So
That looks like a van show. Like they're renting a van and going to drive across the U.S.
that would have been a cool one to see
Yeah,
too.
that would be
but
cool. Yeah.
Maybe next time. Another one, Bush is on tour with Mammoth and James and the Cold Gun.
I think this was already announced.
It was already announced.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
I think it was announced last week. Again, like
really?
we did this.
Oh, I feel like I remember Mammoth being announced earlier with
Oh,
Bush.
really?
Yeah. I'm just wondering if Metal Injection's just picking them up.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. So again, listening to the radio, my radio app all the time, Rock 108 is giving away a lot of tickets for this
really?
show in East Moline.
Oh, okay.
So that's the closest to us.
Yeah.
We saw Bush last year as an opener for Sundust, Shinedown.
Shinedown, yeah. I didn't know Bush really. I mean, I know like 3 of their songs,
Yeah.
but like I enjoyed watching the show. It was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it too. I don't need to see them again.
Oh no.
So
no, definitely not gonna.
but it was a fun show.
Definitely not traveling to the show.
Yeah. And I want to see Mammoth and a proper set as
not
well.
on a Metallica stage.
Yeah, that massive fucking stage.
Yeah.
So this could have been a fun show. I don't know who James and the Cold Gun is, but Bush is fun. Mammoth was fun, but I think it will be better and a proper stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on. We have Hyrax with their U.S. tour with Savage Master and Desolus. I think I'm saying that right. I might be saying it wrong. Is it?
Pretty close.
All right. Well,
I mean, how I would say it. I guess.
yeah. Again, more bands. I don't know who any of these are. But what I typically do if I see something on like an announcement, like on a metal publication like Metal Injection, if I don't know who the band is, I still put it on our calendar spreadsheet to possibly go to as a way to find out new music. I might like it, I might not, but you don't know until you go check it out. But it looks like they're touring in March and April. Pretty small sort of set of shows, but yeah, they're on tour.
March 27th to April 5th. They are stopping here in Chicago at Reggie's.
Yep.
The Sanctuary in Detroit. Those are close to us.
So this could be one that we possibly check out. We might not, because again, Reggie's not too far from us.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into today's announcements that came out today.
Yeah.
Starting with the Godless 4 tour, which is Behemoth, Deicide, Immolation, and Rotting Christ.
Yeah.
We saw Rotting Christ at Milwaukee Metal Fest last year. They were like a standout for us.
Yes. And Behemoth, obviously, we like.
Deicide, we picked up their Record Store Day album.
Yep.
And loved it. It was so fucking good.
I feel like we've seen Immolation as well. Is that at Milwaukee Metal Fest?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'll have to look back at the name just looks familiar. But I was just saying, remember, I was like, we have not seen Behemoth for a long time. And they just came out with an album. And I want to see this so bad. This may be a show where we're like making it work.
Yeah, it's around the time this is going to be in Chicago on April 25th. There's a few other shows in the area that we want to possibly see. So they're in Milwaukee the night before at the rave. We'll try to make this work. The funny one I was looking at this as well is on April 21st. They're going to be in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
I don't see how these bands are going to do in a Mormon town.
Yeah, I think Salt Lake City is the most liberal of the towns. I mean, it still is Mormon for sure.
Yeah, well, that's where the capital of Mormonism is, right? Like that's where their
Lake City
headquarters is at. Their Solitude Fortress thingy that they have.
It's not a fortress, but yeah.
Is it not a fortress?
No.
I didn't think you can get close to it. And
I'm pretty sure, like, across from the Salt Lake City Temple is where the apartment
the golden plates are?
Oh no, where the apartment is, where like the prophet can stay.
Oh.
Yeah.
In any case.
But it's not a fortress. It's just
no,
like,
it was me joking about it being, I don't know, like a compound where you're not allowed in and whatnot.
No, it's not the FLDS. It's Mormonism.
Whatever. This could be a fun show. We'll try to make this one work for sure.
Yeah. We might be traveling. I mean, we'll definitely be traveling to it.
Again, starting in California, ending in California, but bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, maybe traveling to it. The next one we have is Five Finger Death Punch for their 20th anniversary tour.
20th anniversary. Oh, it would be 20th, yeah.
This is with Cody Jinks and Eve Under Fire.
Eva
Under Fire. From what the stops of the tour look like, this looks like an amphitheater.
Oh, I was
show.
wondering because I saw Tinley Park on there, so I'm like, I bet this is like that Live Nation summer tour.
It is
where they go
starting in July.
Yeah, and they go to all those amphitheaters. Unless they go to Colorado, then they're probably at like the Pepsi. What's it called now? It's not the Pepsi Center, is it?
No, it's not. Used to be the
this is
ball
really
arena.
long.
Is the ball arena.
This is long, 7:20 to 10:17.
Yeah.
10:23.
So those early
Wow.
dates are definitely going to be your amphitheaters.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of amphitheaters
Well, then they
listed
go
there.
south. So, I mean, it'll still be warm.
Oh, yeah,
down
yeah,
here,
true.
So. I bet they're all amphitheaters.
Yep. Even in Milwaukee, I think they're up in Milwaukee.
Oh, they're at Red Rocks.
Oh, shit, really?
That would be... See, and like, we've wanted to see a band at
Yeah.
Red Rocks.
That's August 8th.
September 8th.
September 8th, yes. I don't do good with the numbers. I have to like count on my fingers how many. But yeah, most of these are amphitheaters, so
Yeah.
that sucks. I do want to see a show at Tinley Park, but like I hate the amphitheater so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And this is not a
Yeah.
show I want to sit on the lawn to watch a TV, right? I
Yeah.
want to be in the pit.
And we did go out there for the Five Finger show,
Yeah.
and it was just looking at the TVs.
But
so.
Red Rocks would be a
Oh,
completely
yeah.
different experience altogether.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know, maybe we throw that one on our list as a possibility.
Possible, yeah.
Not
we
necessarily
didn't
we're going, but
we didn't go to Denver last year, so let's make it work
yeah,
this year.
that could be it.
Probably
but-
won't make it work, but
Probably not. And we've seen Five Finger. I don't know who these other two bands
Yeah,
are.
no.
But it would be a fun show. Then we have Avatar again
Yeah.
with the Don't Go in the Forest, the
Yeah.
same tour name
The
as
same
last
tour,
time.
yeah.
But 2026.
it's so funny because they were just here. Like,
They were. I told
Yeah.
you. This is what Avatar seems to do. Is they're in the area at least once a year. Where in 2024, 2025, they really weren't until the end of 2025,
Yeah.
which was a really long hiatus for them. We just saw them in December, and now they're coming back again in a couple of months now. But yeah, they're on tour again. This time though with Flesh God Apocalypse and Frozen Soul. This is gonna be a heavy as fuck show.
Yeah.
Until you get to Avatar.
Yeah, unless they play like some old
The old
stuff.
shit. Yes.
Yeah. When I saw Frozen Soul and Flesh God Apocalypse, I'm like, oh my god, we have to make this like.
Yes.
See, like this is where Five Finger. I'm like, if we can make one work, we'll go. But I'm not the amphitheater. I hate the amphitheaters. But with this this show, I'm like, okay, what dates can we go to? How can we make it work? That sort of thing.
Starting in April 16th or on April 16th in Sacramento, California, and ending in New Hampshire on May 20th. But you know they're in Moline. They're in Des Moines, Iowa at Valor Ballroom. So that could be fucking fun.
That would be awesome.
We
We haven't been to Valor for so
think they're up in
long.
Milwaukee as well. It's been so
Yeah.
fucking long for
Yeah.
Valor. And then, yeah, up in Milwaukee at the Rave again. So
Yeah, yeah.
good to see the Rave still getting shit, even though the new
Yeah, it'll be open by then.
Live Nation shit
Yeah.
is opening soon.
Yeah, it's opening in March, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Next, we have just a few, well, not just a few, we have quite a bit left.
more.
But the Black Dahlia Murders, Spring Fling is their tour name. I like that.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
But they are on tour with Acacia Strain, Disembodied Tyrant, and Corpse Pile. Another one that we will try to make work as well.
I think with the case string gonna be there, we're gonna make it
You're
work
definitely going to make it work.
somehow. I don't know how, but
But yeah, starting on April 2nd all the way down to May 5th. May 2nd back at the Rave.
yep.
So we'll try to find one of these that works. They're going to be at Sage
They
as
are.
well.
Yeah, yeah.
Moving along, I guess.
But don't worry, we only have like five more.
We have Arcspire and Cattle Decapitation are headlining the first ever Flatline Fest
Yeah.
out in Denver.
So I actually had this on the list of like possibilities
Oh,
of
really?
going to Denver. Yeah. So yeah, it seems like it's a new festival that they're trying to put together.
Dave Otro, a producer, I don't really know who he is, but he's the one putting this festival on.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully, though, it sticks around because I know they tried to do a festival out in Denver last year that kind of
It-
fell through at the last
yeah,
minute
Yeah, and they didn't. I mean, they ended up just doing like 3 standalone shows at a couple venues.
for like the bands that were already out there. Like it was
Yeah.
very, very last minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully this one works. Like I said, I don't know anything about Dave Otro, but hopefully, you know, somebody who's in the industry wanting to do this, it will become a good popular, not necessarily popular, but a good standing festival. And
Yeah.
when I say that, I'm thinking of like Jamie Josta coming back with Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Oh, yeah,
of like,
yeah.
I'm doing this for the love of doing it. And at least that's how it feels like with me, with Jamie and Milwaukee Metal Fest, is we're going to put this on and we're gonna put this on.
Yeah.
Where the last summer it felt like it was financial, like it just collapsed.
Yeah, so this is actually at the Oriental Theater, June 13th and 14th, 2026. And the one that you're talking about last year that collapsed was at like the cattle yards or something.
Okay.
So I don't think it's like a venue. I think that they need to bring everything in.
Gotcha.
Where this is a venue, so they at least
that
have
helps with that,
everything. Yeah.
The infrastructure and
So
all that.
this show, I mean, with the lineup and everything, because I mean the lineup's not that huge because it's a 2-day festival, but it's like 6 or 7 bands every day. But it's Arcspire, Aborted, Nuclear Power Trio, Inferi, Infurer. I'm not sure how to say that. INFERI, and then Of Father and Bone and Claustrophoc. I'm sure that's how you say that. Clusterfuck. Yeah. That's on the 13th. And then the 14th is headlined by Cattle Decapitation, Allegion, Cephalic Carnage. We've seen them.
Yeah.
The Zenith Passage, In the Company of Serpents.
Yeah.
In the Company of Serpents.
From Denver.
And Necropanther, who I loved. I liked Necropanther.
Okay. So this, now knowing more of these bands, it feels very much like the summer version of Decibel
yeah.
Beer and Metal Fest.
Yeah.
But except without the beer. Like this is a completely different organizer, but it feels very, very similar.
Like with the lineup.
Lineup being not necessarily large, but like a one day probably starting at 5 p.m.
Probably, yeah.
Type thing, one stage, and then rotating those out. So it's basically, to me, this looks like the same thing that is, just without the beer fest added on. So that could actually be a lot of fucking fun.
I have it like saved as like a possibility. But if we're going out there for the 8th, then we can't go again in June.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to, and who knows if we can make any of these work. Yeah, so, but that's one to definitely throw on the list as like a low maybe. Next, we have just Headbangers Boat finalizing their lineup. Just wanted to throw that out there. It's been announced. The tours are out there. We're going to go on, not the tour, the ship is announced and all that. Tickets are on sale for that, I think, still going on. I don't think they sold out yet. But the lineup looks pretty good. Well, actually, I'm not super stoked.
I'm not stoked about it. There's a couple bands that are like okay, but there's nothing that's like,
oh my god,
I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, it will still be fun. Like, I go for not just the bands, but the experience as a whole. So I'm still excited for this year's Headbanger Boat. The lineup just isn't the end all to be all for me for this, for sure. But that's up on their website as well. We have 3 more on the list. Why don't you read off those for us?
So Obscura is going to be touring in Asia, I think with Dirk. But I can't find that band name, so that might not be right. I saw this on like just an announcement, and it's like death metal written, and I can't really read it. But May 1st through June 1st, a whole bunch of like Japan, China, like a whole bunch of cities. Sun O tour, just a few dates on there, not too many stops.
Yeah, you told me about this.
April 1st through April 19th.
I did not see this, so I'm like, fuck. And they, like I said, they have a new album coming out, so it makes sense to be touring.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in Iowa City at the Englart Theater.
Yes.
Which would have been fucking phenomenal to see. We can't make that work.
No.
But fuck, that would have been fun.
We can't make any of these dates work, so unfortunately.
Oh, that fucking sucks.
Happening.
I would have loved that.
And then this was shared by a person from the boat who invited me to like a Michigan metal crew, I think is what it's called.
Oh, the
Facebook
group
page.
they're on.
Yeah. But there's a Detroit hardcore band called Negative Approach who's going to do an Australia and New Zealand tour.
Oh, fuck.
October 21st to November 14th.
That's fucking awesome.
I thought that was really cool. So, especially with the, local, or not that we're local to Michigan, but being local to the people who shared it.
Yeah, knowing, a roundabout way of knowing them.
Yeah.
Or sort of a connection, so to speak, type thing.
Yeah.
Local, though, like, we did completely forget how close Detroit was to us, where now we're actually looking at like, oh shit, it's really not that bad to drive. So when stuff comes to the House of Blues in Chicago, we're like, fuck that.
Yeah, we can go there.
Are they going to be in Detroit?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the final tour that we had for this. But that was, again, 2 Tuesdays worth of announcements in there.
So they probably won't be that long.
And the other things sprinkling in. So hopefully not, but we'll see. The last segment we have, and I said this last time that this wouldn't be a reoccurring segment, more than likely. But I just threw this out there. But Metallica has a new Dixon shirt that they just released for their Load album. I like the Dixon shirts, I really do. But I question the whole, this is a Metallica one.
Yeah.
It's like, you use a couple of colors. It's red. And I went to their website after seeing this announced. They have a couple of flannel that are red. Not necessarily this red, but, a different sort of variant.
So basically Dixon is like a button-down flannel with like the band name on the pocket.
Yeah, they have a little tag for the band name on the pocket, and then maybe like the collar, or not the collar, the tag underneath the shirt, like behind the shirt that says the size, might have something as well.
Yeah.
But
I added to the list also.
Oh, I did not see that.
Well, just on yours. And Fit for an Autopsy released a shirt with Dixon. Well,
Oh, shit,
Dixon
that's right.
released
Yes,
a Fit
yes,
for
they
an
did.
Autopsy shirt.
I forgot about that.
So, yeah.
I like that one. It's purple, isn't it?
It's black and purple striped.
Yeah.
So you brought up Metallica, and I was like, wait, there's other bands that released a shirt?
There are, yeah. I like the Dixon shirts. They are. At first I saw the price. They're like $60 a shirt. I'm like, that's kind of fucking pricey. But I guess I pay $40 to $50 for a tour shirt, and I'm okay with like paying that for this. That's the long sleeve. This is short sleeve, so you get a little bit more, and it's flannel. It's heavier, so I don't know. I have one Dixon shirt, and I was talking about possibly changing up my style a little bit, so I don't always wear just band shirts. This would be something like the next step for me. And they also have short sleeve shirts as well. So, again, I don't know why I threw that in there other than it was announced this week. It's kind of cool, I think. But yeah, that's it for the merch table this week. And that will then wrap up the episode for this week as well. It
was long.
A little choppy, a little long here and there for sure. A lot of news, a lot of new music that we talked about that, that can be whittled down, as we talked about, with having me actually listen to some stuff instead of just saying this band, this band, this band. So we'll see how that goes. And also the concert calendar of getting a lot of shit announced. Our main topic, the book, that lasted about as long as we probably wanted it to last.
Yeah, maybe we talked even more around about ways of expanding it a little bit, because we could have been done in 10 minutes. So
you could have been done. I had a lot I wanted to say about the book. It was an interesting read. It wasn't what I expected. Wasn't the absolute worst thing ever, but yeah. In any case, rambling here as we try to wrap it up. That's our episode for this week. Our second time doing the new format, where we'll keep with it and see if this gets any better or whatnot, but
probably not.
We'll keep with it for a little bit and see how it goes. Hope you enjoyed, and there's a lot of shows coming up, as we just read about, so get out there, explore music, listen to some of that new music I didn't listen to, and go to some of these shows that have been announced, hopefully, and maybe we'll see you at the next show.
Bye.